I'm Janet Mangold. I'm a Master Gardener volunteer at North Country Master Gardener Volunteers at the Spooner Teaching and Display Garden in Spooner, Wisconsin. I'm here at my favorite part in the garden, the perennial section, which is currently designated as a monarch way station. Originally, when I started with the group in 2014, this was a perennial garden, a standard perennial garden with roses and all kinds of beautiful perennials. They were healthy and thriving, and we didn't want to lose those. But a few threads were coming together for me and also for the group. When I walked around my home area in the St. Paul area, I always went by a backyard that was a certified monarch way station. And I thought, that is a great thing, and I want to have one. And then a few things started to come together for us as a group, and we had an interest in native landscaping, native plants, low maintenance yards, and also we had some education on monarch butterflies from the University of Minnesota Monarch Lab. We decided to undertake this project when we realized the impact that habitat loss is having on monarch butterflies and other pollinators. The habitat loss comes from overdevelopment of land, disease, insecticides, poor gardening techniques, and invasive plants. So we decided to take this project on. It was an ideal space for us to focus on. We started in 2015. I made a motion to the group and it was accepted. The garden, the perennial remaking of the Monarch Way Station was completed in June of 2016. Our group as a whole, Sharon Terrace designed the garden, and our group participated in removing the existing perennials and replanting the native perennials, more of which I'll show you later. We've got a great selection of perennials here. 3/4 of the world's flowering plants depend on pollinators to reproduce. Most fruit, vegetable, seed crops, and other plants that provide fiber, medicine, and fuel are endangered. A significant portion of the food we eat exists because of the pollinating activity of bees and birds, beetles, and other insects. These are the main pollinators for fruits and vegetables. They nest underground in twigs and dead trees. There are over 250 species of bees native to North America. Bees are considered a pollinator superhero because they do so much, and they've developed special adaptations such as the ability to buzz pollinate, which means they can pollinate fruits and vegetables that have nectar but no pollen. Those things include tomatoes, cherries, apples. Butterflies seek nectar in the morning, moths at night. Monarch caterpillars have to have milkweed in order to develop larvae. Common milkweed is the most common, but a variety of different kinds of milkweed suitable to your geographic area is recommended. Also recommended is a variety of colors and different bloom times and different heights, different types of foliage. In our garden we have trees, shrubs, and beautiful flowers. Hummingbirds are the most common avian pollinators in the U.S. 2 species of bat are the main pollinators in the desert Southwest. Beetles and other insects are common flowers and pollinators. My personal favorite is the midgefly, which is the only pollinator small enough to pollinate the cocoa flower, the source of all that wonderful chocolate. When we built the Monarch Way Station, it's built as a sanctuary and habitat for monarch butterflies and pollinators. As we go around the garden, you will see birds in action, bees in action, and butterflies, and that's something we all love to see. We incorporated in this habitat the butterfly right now. Pollinator-friendly trees, plants, and shrubs. A mix of plants with various colors and bloom times. We don't use insecticides. We have a bee nesting house, which I will show you. Thinning plants regularly, mulching. We use natural material for compost, and we have a lot of dedicated gardeners who come out here and weed and water and make sure everything has the space it needs to flourish. You are going to want to learn and remember common milkweed. There are many, many species of milkweeds. The common milkweed is most often used, and this is what we are showing you here. This is a flowering one right there, and it is surrounded by other pollinator plants. The goldenrod, golden stern, black-eyed Susan, Rudbeckia is a favorite of these too, as you can see. This is purple coneflower, Echinacea, a favorite of pollinators. You can get it in different colors. We have probably the most traditional color here, the purple. Here's our blue oatgrass, and that is a lower plant and helps keep the soil moist and keep the conditions right for our pollinators. Anise hyssop is a favorite of the pollinators. It's got beautiful purple flowers. As you can see, it's quite tall, almost 3 feet tall, and it's a beautiful hedge for this area of the garden. This is the bush honeysuckle that the bees love. You can see there's lots of bee activity there, and they take the pollen and nectar and go straight back to their nest and then come back and work again. So this is a favorite for bees. This is purple prairie clover. You can also see a lot of bee activity on those. The yellow flower is lanceleaf coreopsis. It's a beautiful perennial with bright yellow flowers. Butterflies like all warm colors. They, I think, love red the best. Hummingbirds love red, but basically a variety of colors, and butterflies especially seem to gravitate towards the warmer colors. This is a peony, a beautiful flowering plant, blooms once in the spring. That's one thing to remember, is you want to plant a variety of plants that bloom at different times throughout the summer so that you have a constant source for nectar and pollen for the pollinators. Wild bergamot or bee balm is a very popular pollinator. I see it out in the woods, and I've yet to put it in my own garden, but I'm planning to next week. This purple flower is Liatris. It's spectacular, long, tall, purple bloom. This is traditional butterfly weed. It's usually an orange, although in catalogs I've seen it in different colors, but that attracts butterflies in particular. It's purple Joe pieweed, another of in our purple family. This one is nice and tall, probably 5 feet tall, and again, you can see a lot of bee activity on this bush. This is pink phlox, another excellent growing perennial, native perennial in our garden. And phlox comes in different colors. This has reached a nice height of about 4 feet, so very provides a lot of habitat for pollinators. Here we've got a yellow version of the coneflower. These are more petite size than the purple. Right here we have catmint. It's a easy grower. It provides a lot of flowers, leaves, and inside habitat because it mounds, and it is probably 4 feet wide right now and quite tall. Prairie grasses are one of my personal favorites. I have lots of them in the prairie section of my home garden. These are prairie dropseed. They tend to stay lower and wider, and I like to see a variety of different types of perennial grasses planted together instead of just a repetition of just one kind. I see a lot of Here we have heavy metal switchgrass, another natural for a native garden. It's tall, it gets beautiful seeds, heads at the top, and it continues to grow and expand. So these are wonderful plants for your own garden because they will fill a space quite naturally. Here's a azalea plant. This is already flowered, so this is one that has done its job already this spring and is now allowing pollinators to go for the other plants. Here's another grass, little blue stem. Blue stem is a favorite for many gardeners, and it's a very pretty plant. Here you see an example of it in 3 different sizes. This shrub is one of my personal favorites. It's a 9-bark. This is the wine color, and it's available in tree form, but generally it's in a shrub form, and it has beautiful small pink flowers in the spring. And it's a very hardy shrub, and it adds a nice dark color plus the pollinator flowers to your garden. This beauty is a limelight hydrangea. It has the specialized flowers with the outer rim of bigger flowers and then the panicle of smaller flowers there. Very nice plant. Here we have another favorite of mine, Karl Forester featherweed grass. It gets beautiful seeds at the top. It's a graceful plant. It provides, I don't cut mine down until spring so that I have it for winter cover for insects and animals. Then I cut it down in the spring so it can flourish again. At the risk of saying this another time, lilacs are another one of my favorite. At my home garden we have a lot of deer in our area, and deer do not like lilacs because of the fragrance. And so I have found most of my gardening there to be more successful when the major shrub plants are lilacs. Lilacs again bloom in the spring. There's a few varieties that are ever blooming. These are traditional lilacs, and they have beautiful fragrant blooms in the spring. This is a verbena species, Hoary vervain. It has a nice big seed head in the middle and bright yellow flowers on the outside. Verbena come in different sizes and in many different colors. This is a native version. There we go. Salvia is a favorite for many gardeners. It's low maintenance, like most of these perennials and native plants are. It's purple in color. It has shoots of color coming up, and it's a beautiful bloomer. It really will bloom all summer. Okay. This plant is an autumn fire sedum. Sedums are a favorite of many gardeners, and you'll find it in lots of gardens, both at home and in pollinator sanctuaries.